Hi, Bill here, K2WH, owner-moderator of the Yahoo site for ICOM bookend rigs, IC 202, 502, 402, and the ICOM 215. Bookshelf, or some people call them bookend rigs. These are radios that were built in the 1970s, and there are a number of enthusiasts around the world that collect these, restore them, and modify them. And this video is how to modify the dial light on all four of these radios, which is a very simple modification to make them look somewhat more cheery, brighter than the old yellow incandescent light bulb. Some of you guys out there may have had the bulb burn out, or it's just too dim to see, or something like that. So what we're going to do is take this little bulb here that's in the rigs right now, and we're going to substitute it with one of these super bright white LEDs. And since it's a 12 volt radio, we have to drop some voltage down to approximately 3 volts with a 330 ohm resistor. There's a few other things that need to be done also to make sure that you don't short anything out. You got to do a little soldering, but believe me, it's not a lot of soldering to do. But as you can see on the front page of the website, it makes the dial look a heck of a lot brighter and more easily seen, especially by us old folks who we need bright lights to really see what we're doing. So anyway, the following will be the process a little bit at a time on how to do this. So keep watching. To continue, the first thing is to locate the where the bulb is, where it's connected, and I'm going to zoom in and show you that connection, which is these two white wires right here, which go to the right to a grayish looking cover, which is I believe heat shrink for this bulb right there. That's the bulb from one of my other rigs. That's the incandescent bulb, and that is what you got to pull out. The way I did it was I pulled it out because it only sits inside like a white rubber grommet, so it's a press fit. It's not bolted, screwed, or anything like that. And using a pair of these, it'd be nice to have a pair of these. It's very easy. Just go in there, grab the wires and pull it out to your left, and it will come right out, no problem whatsoever. Now to pull that out, the bulb that's in there, grasp the end of the wires. If you have a set of forceps like this, that's really good. You just go in there, grab the wires, and pull it out to your left, and you're left with a bulb that's on the end of the wires. And you just what I did was snip it off right at the lead, where the leads go into the bulb, as you can see there. After you've pulled the bulb out of the white grommet that's in the center of your screen right there, and cut the bulb off, what you'll be left with is two white wires right there that go to the on-off switch on the 215. It's a small toggle switch. On the 202, 402, and 502, I believe it's on the rotary switch, channel selector or frequency selector. So it's these two wires here that you'll be working with, and that's what you're going to solder the 330 ohm resistor, and there's going to be a piece of heat shrink that will go over that, and you'll see that shortly. And also to the LED. Cut the wires as close as you can to the bulb, because you're going to need all the length in those wires to reach back up to where the bulb was. Don't cut them too short. And to continue using those very same forceps, you can see now in that grommet is the LED in there. I just grabbed the leads with the forceps and slid it right in. I have the leads bent at a 90-degree angle, as I said before, protruding out to show the direction that these leads have to go to clear the components on the board for your soldering of the white wires, the resistor, onto the LED. And to continue, what I've done is with one of the white wires, I've tinned it with some solder. In addition to that, I've cut one of the leads off from the resistor, and as you can see here, the 330 ohm resistor, I tinned the end of the resistor. What I'm going to do is solder that to that, and I've also run a small piece of very thin heat shrink tubing on that wire. That's so I can cover up the solder connection or insulate it from the rest of the circuit. I'm also going to be adding a larger piece of heat shrink, a short piece that will go over that and the resistor body to isolate or insulate the resistor from the rest of the circuitry in this 215 transceiver. Okay, as you can see, I have soldered the white wire to the 330 ohm resistor, and I'm going to slide the piece of heat shrink up over that connection. There will be, as I said before, this second piece of heat shrink which is going to go over the resistor body and the first piece, again to provide insulation or isolation from the rest of the circuit. Alright, to continue, what I've done here is I've soldered the resistor to the one white wire, and I've also put the heat shrink on there. And just to check, you would want to do this, check your polarity. I've connected temporarily using alligator clip leads to the two white wires to see if I have the correct polarity and how everything works. So what I'm going to do is turn the radio on and let's see if it works. Well, there we go. Quite a bright. Wow, that's really bright. Anyway, as you can see, the super white LED is working, and I have the correct polarity before I make any permanent solder connections. And it's pretty bright. So now I'm going to install the LED where the incandescent bulb used to be. Okay, finally, what I've done here is I have connected the LED, put heat shrink where appropriate to the two wires, and the last thing to do is bend the leads at the LED slightly, or at 90 degrees, or whatever angle you want, to get it into the hole where the old incandescent bulb was in the rig. And basically that's it. And as you can see, if I turn it on, we got a nice bright LED, and I want to show you in the next one what the front panel looks like before and after with the addition of the LED. The match is there. I don't have a heat gun, so I had to use some book matches, which doesn't do a very good job, but it shrinks the heat shrink enough to provide the protection. Finally, I want to show you the difference here and what the incandescent light looks like compared to the LED light bulb. On the right I have an ICOM 502, on the left I have the 215, which is the one where I installed the LED, the super bright white LED. I'm going to turn on the 502 on the right hand side, and you can see the color of the S meter and frequency selector. And I'm going to turn on the 215, and you can see the significant difference in readability, almost daylight type of illumination. And basically that's it. And finally, the only thing I want to say is that I chose the 215 to do this mod because in the 202 and the 502 and probably the 402 also that have VFOs in there, the VFO body or shielding, the box that the VFO is in, makes it significantly more difficult to get in at the incandescent bulb, but it can be done. So basically that's about it. That's a wrap up, and it's a pretty simple mod. Brings the little rig into the 21st century, and I think you'll enjoy the results. Have a good day. This is K2WH.